So good morning, this is Papa's Plants and I'm Papa. So today we're going to talk about composting worms. We're going to talk a little bit about harvesting the castings, which is the worm poop, and which we all know the worm poop, the castings is great for our plants. It's great for our vegetables, ornamental plants. It doesn't really matter. It's really great fertilizer. So we're going to talk about separating the worms from the castings. We're going to build a worm trap, and we're going to leave the trap in the bed for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, and let's see if we can't get most of them trapped so we can separate the castings. Now, the worms hadn't been fed in 2 or 3 weeks at least. I checked them a couple of nights ago. The bed is completely empty, mostly empty of food, if not completely empty of food. So they're really hungry. They're ready to eat. So we're going to set up the trap today, and I'm going to video that for you. So stay tuned. So this is my worm bed. This is nothing more than just an old tub that I picked up off of Craigslist. Um, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago. Brought it home, put it in the backyard. The wife looked out the back door and said, "Nope, that's not going to work. We're not going to have a tub in the backyard." So I took some old lumber laying around and wrapped it, made it look like just a regular wooden box, and so that's where we are. So inside we've got the bed itself, and I keep a piece of cardboard over the top of the worms, and let's see what we can find here. These worms are everywhere. They're in here. They're just thick. You can't really see them because I had the cardboard off just a few minutes ago and they took off and buried down. But I want you to look at those castings, how black and rich that looks, and you can see a few worms. So anyhow, this is ready to go. We're going to set up the trap, and we'll be right back. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to mix up a little bit of bedding to go with the food. We're getting ready to feed them. So all I've got here on the this side is just some peat moss, and on this side is just some compost that I do here on the property. So I'm going to mix that up approximately 50-50, not an exact ratio, but around 50-50. And then what we're going to do then, we're going to put it in the trap. Now the trap is nothing but a Tupperware plastic container of some sort. You don't need a top for it. I've got holes drilled all the way around the sides and all in the bottom, approximately 3/8 of an inch in diameter. And what all that is just to give the worms a way to get into the trap. So we're going to go ahead and mix up the bedding and get it in the container here, and we'll go from there. Okay, so it's time to load the trap. So I've got our container with all our holes in it. I've got our bedding mixed up. So we're just going to start loading that. And what I want to do is I want to do a layer of bedding. And we're going to put our bait. What I've got for bait is I've got a peach tree here in my yard, and that thing produces tons of peaches. Some of them are a little small, some of them are a little wormy. They got bad places on them. So I don't let anything go to waste. So anything that we don't eat, the worms eat. So I take these old peaches that have been in the freezer, and I just sort of squash them in my hands and just start laying them in the trap. Should have took these out last night. I took them out early this morning. They're still a little frosty from the freezer, but they'll be fine. They'll thaw pretty quick. Now these peaches, I'm gonna tell you what's true. These worms love these peaches. They'll devour these things in just about a week, and this will be completely gone. All right, so we'll put another layer on top of that. And then another layer of the bait. And I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna come back. I'm gonna feed them probably 2 or 3 times. I got about this many more peaches in the freezer. We're gonna come back in about a week and a half, and we're gonna fill up the trap again, let them sit, and then we're gonna come back another week and a half or so after that, and we're gonna harvest the casting. So make sure you look out for that video and come back, and we'll look in here and we'll see exactly what we got, what we ended up with, and then we'll harvest them, put them off to the side, and then we'll turn around and reload the bed again with new bedding, and get it in ready for the winter time. Okay, that's just about perfect. All right, so now we're gonna set the trap in the bed. I know, oh, see, there's a big worm ball right there. Well, I missed it. I've uncovered a big wad of worms right there. So I know some of you thinking, well, you're killing your worms with that shovel, but it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. Things happen. You can't. Look at the seeds. These things ate tons of squash this summer. Okay, let's get this ready. See if we can get it in there. You want to make sure you got good ground contact up under the trap. Make sure you got good side contact. Oh, you can't see, can you? Give me just a second and I'll move the camera for you. Okay, now you can see a little better. What we're going to do is just finish backfilling around the trap, pushing it in. Yeah, these castings are done. They're ready. And it's a little hard to see, I know, in the camera, but there are worms everywhere in here. All right, so when I put the cardboard back over the top of my worm bed, then the worms will get up here on top and be looking around, see if there's any food up here, and then they can crawl right in the trap from the top. All right. Let me get the topping. Let me show you how hungry them rascals were. See the top of that cardboard? I just put that in there a week or two ago. They were hungry. They've been nibbling on that cardboard. All right, so okay, well, like we said, we'll come back after about a week and a half. We'll check the trap and see how we're doing. We'll go ahead and rebait the trap, give it another week and a half or so, and then look and see how we're doing again. At that point, if trap's loaded, then we'll pull the worms in the trap, clean out the castings, get them harvested, and we'll set some new bedding here in the worm bed, and go ahead and put the worms back, get them settled in for the winter. Like I said, it's first week of September, so this is a great time to do this. But they got plenty of time to get settled back in. So I appreciate you coming along with us. I would really appreciate it if you'd subscribe and hit that like button. We're just getting started on this YouTube journey, having a great time. So until next week. We'll see you. Thanks.